demo. In fact, we'd like a volunteer from the audience to make sure that everything's valid. Carl?
You're closer.
I saw your hand up first.
Okay.
He hates whiskey.
If there's any whiskey
So,
involved.
all right, so anybody want to tell?
Okay.
All right, so this is
Okay.
this is awesome. Carl's going to put the coin in and whiskey
It's going to
starts
start pouring.
going.
You're going to want to let your friends know that the drinks are pouring.
And there's also lights here.
Oh!
Get notification from the cloud that whiskey is being poured.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my God!
This is we had to get Slack in the loop. This guy is posting a message
It's
which
cloud-enabled
demon
whiskey.
that's going to Slack.
There you go.
And the lights light. And now it's done. So Carl's going to verify that it's genuine whiskey.
It's whiskey.
Oh, I'm back on.
Is it a bourbon?
Yeah. Nobody's
Okay.
going to follow that.
So how do we do this?
They're good.
I should have something else besides me. Anybody? Okay.
You do this part.
All right, I'll do this part. Okay.
Okay.
So we were all sitting around the table with James's huge pile of hardware, and we were looking through it with some ideas. But all of a sudden we see this little coin acceptor, and then somebody else grabs this pump. We're going, maybe we can put these things together. And lo and behold, the idea came out to make that vending machine. And so what we started with first was actually two teams. One team was trying to get the coin operator working properly and accepting the right denominations.
Because it has to be programmed.
It has to be programmed. And then we were trying to hook that up with the Arduino and the pump after that. So then we had another team that was working on getting the pump working on a separate board. And over lunch, we started talking about connecting it to the cloud. So we'll get to that a little bit later. This is kind of just our first victory moments of getting the pump working. We were super excited that this actually worked. And this is a schematic. Rob, you want to explain what's going on here?
Well, so the coin acceptor gives a signal that we can detect on a pin. We can use another pin to turn on a relay that runs the pump. And there's some timing loop. And then this is a photon board that has onboard Wi-Fi.
What's a photon?
It's just a little development board that's got digital I/O and analog I/O pins and Wi-Fi and a Cortex M3 processor.
Does the amount of whiskey differ for denominations?
Not yet. That's version 2.
That was the stretch goal.
Photon board in?
It's basically the same language as the Arduino. It's just got a few extra calls to hit there.
To do the cloud
So
stuff.
it's CD or?
It's like C, yeah.
Yeah.
There's-
So
this
this is the code for the vending. It's very simple. I should mention that we had a more sophisticated code that would do interrupts for the coin. It turned out that somehow that got an interference from the relay pump. Whenever we plugged in the pump, we got thousands of interrupts. And so we couldn't do that. So we ended up, because we have this 30-second delay in here, we just did this active polling, and it all worked.
And this is the cloud part.
Yeah. So really all of this code, except for that one line, runs on the Arduino, and that was the only addition to get it to run on the photon.
So it works if the cloud is down or if the Wi-Fi is down. You still get
Robust.
It's robust.
Yeah.
So this is the after lunch, we were starting to get hooked up to the cloud.
Yeah, so the photon, whenever you sign up for an account, it gives you a little web IDE. Basically, everything you want to do to it, it's run through this, the personal Wi-Fi network. You get this account, and whenever you're doing something on the board or you receive a signal, you can do that. Publish an event, and then on the website of things, you can have these webhooks. Theoretically, you can have them listen for the event and then calls out to whatever other web service you want to hit. Couldn't get the webhooks to actually fire correctly, so the last minute audible was just a simple, you know, I don't know how many lines, 20
There's the
lines.
code.
Okay.
So
A little more.
we ended up doing like a last minute hack for Node to just open up an HTTP stream and then do sort of a brute force parse for the data packet we're looking for, and then at that point send off a GET request to Slack to then post. So it actually turned out to be pretty simple. So now that it's published in Slack, somebody else can read that information and do cool stuff with it.
So my challenge was to take that piece of equipment there and connect it to Wi-Fi. Now the problem is if you don't have a keyboard or a mouse or a monitor, it's kind of hard to configure it to use Wi-Fi. So we ended up getting a keyboard and we converted that to work. And then once we got it connected to Wi-Fi, we connected to Slack through the API. Scanned basically the chats there, and once we got the trigger, we triggered the whole set of LED kind of animation thing, which works from the cloud, which is pretty cool.
Now, have we seen that work yet? No.
Yeah.
We have.
We
We
have.
can
You want to
redo
see it
it.
again?
Do it again.
I do.
You just want to demo it, don't you?
No.
Alright, so we put that
Well, I
in.
want to see it work. Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
And then the Slack post happens, you get
okay.
an update on Slack. Did it work? Did it break?
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, it's going, so it's something
Oh, so
happened.
does it wait until it's finished?
I think
Does it
something
disconnect or
happened with
something?
the
Maybe
network.
disconnected, yeah. Oh, yeah, disconnected from the
I
Wi-Fi.
see you do it again.
Somebody's gonna have to drink a bunch of whiskey.
We can fix it, no worries.
So can you see it?
It was all water.
Your laptop.
Just now.
We use mods for.
Are you
We're
connected?
good to go.
Good to go? Okay, we're good to go.
Have a double.
Someone's gonna get a double.
Uh,
Yep, we got a new.
Oh.
Party on, man. Party on, Lane.
There we go. Did you want to talk about the code at all, or?
I don't know what there is to say. Basically, so it's Python code, essentially, that we use to check against Slack using the REST API, and then also to post a message, and then just regular Raspberry Pi to play around with the LEDs.
And after we got all the electronics together, it wouldn't be complete without actually putting it in a fancy box, which Garrett spearheaded.
Yeah, so luckily there was this awesome beer box in the house. And we didn't, the system was stretched out across the kitchen countertop, so we needed to give it some infrastructure. So I put the coin system up there, drops in change down there. Oh, and then Julie and I had to program the actual coin operation, so it doesn't take nickels or dimes, it only takes quarters. Yeah, and then this isn't actually a complete picture. We put the pump up there on that in the bourbon. We'll pick it up on. Oh yeah, the disco ball.
Yeah, that just had, we wanted to use that.
Gratuitous use of a disco ball.
I was trying to figure out how to do something with it. At the end of the day, it just got taped on top.
Can I see the code for the disco ball?
So I think, one trip to the hardware store, one trip to the liquor store,
Yeah.
numerous requests on Slack for random items.
So are you seeking budget funding?
Yeah, I was gonna,
Anyway.
are you gonna do a Kickstarter?
Yeah, there we go. 5,000 starting. Anyway,
I think Bruce.
I think we're done.